Good afternoon. I'm Laura Cardona. I'm a student from USF and I'm doing my master's in social work. We are doing this assignment where I am interviewing and we discuss a situation that you may want to share with me, and we are going to apply some theories. Before we start, I would like to know your name and your age.
Yes, my name is Yadiel Sevilla, and I'm 24 years old.
Thank you, Yadiel. We're going to talk about now about confidentiality. Everything that we discuss in here stays in here. This is a safe environment for you. However, if you have any thoughts of hurting yourself or others, or have suicidal thoughts, or know about any maltreatment involving elderly or children, I will have to report that. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions from now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So tell me, what you are here, what you want to discuss today.
So I was in a situation about 2 weeks ago where I had to give out a presentation, and when giving my grade back, I noticed I got points deducted off due to confidence and, according to the professor, not getting my message across accordingly and efficiently.
Okay. When was that again?
This was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that was pretty recent.
Yes.
How that made you feel?
Made me feel a little bit embarrassed, a little bit sad and self-conscious, just because English is not my first language.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish is actually my first language, so it makes me feel like everyone's paying attention, and like seeing the way I talk in times of nervousness due to my accent, and makes me a little bit more self-conscious.
Okay, got it. So from what I'm understanding, you have this presentation 2 weeks ago where your professor deducted points from your presentation because, according to her, you didn't get your message across. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I kind of related to you because I'm bilingual as well. My first language is Spanish too. And it's normal to be more self-aware when you're in those situations, and it kind of reinforced what your professor feedback was, that maybe you were not that confident. However, we can use the CBT theory, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, to get over that nervousness that will make you be more confident in the presentations. And now that you use the word embarrassment, I would like to start with that feeling or emotion. So according to CBT, your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors are all connected. If you can see, this is like a triangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the emotion was embarrassment in this case, right?
Yes.
What was your thoughts when you were in that presentation or after you received your grade?
I didn't want to do another presentation.
I don't want to do another presentation. Okay. And what could be a behavior out of that thought and feeling?
I would say just being like isolated.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
People would think I would think that other people would think some type of way of me, and so I want to stay away.
I like that too. That some people will think about you about like what?
That I lack English proficiency.
Okay. Okay. So you see that this is all connected,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you probably don't want to present anymore because you have this tension that everyone is looking at you and paying attention of every detail that you're saying. But what if we change the narrative and think about the worst scenario? What is the worst that could happen if you messed up a word?
Now I change it for another one.
Okay, so even though it could be stressful and you can mess up a word, it's not the end of the world. You know, you're gonna figure it out how to get your message across. And instead of freezing up, you can just like think, okay, what word can I use so they understand? And that's what we want to get out CBT, that we change our thoughts. So that's kind of the first step. If we change the negative thoughts to a positive ones, we may have a better chance to perform better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. There's also 2 therapeutic approaches or techniques that involve CBT that I would like to practice with you, and I would like that you take that as homework if you like.
Yes.
Okay. So this is pretty much CBT, what we just discussed in here, right? But now we're going to talk about A, B, C, D. So A is the event. In this case, was a presentation, right? The B are the thoughts that are embarrassment. The C are the feelings that. What was your feeling?
Embarrassment.
Right. Sorry. The thoughts were I don't want to present. I'm sorry about that. And the C is embarrassment. And now we have D. So this is the extra word that involves the evidence. So it's pretty much like stating like what other things could be going through the people's minds when you were presenting, instead of just like thinking, oh, they're laughing at me because I say this wrong.
Yeah.
So what is the evidence that you have when you say like they going to think about me that I'm not proficient in English? Like what is the evidence that you have?
That they didn't understand.
They didn't understand. But we don't have evidence about that, right? That's what we think. But you haven't even asked them that, like to prove it, correct?
Correct.
So we may have to choose some evidence base and be like, maybe they were understanding my concept and that's why they were looking at me, because they were paying attention. Right? So we change that intrusive thought for a one that is more realistic. Okay? So you can do the CBT this way or the triangle way. Which one for you is easier?
I like the triangle one.
Okay.
It's a little bit better for me to write it out and see how it connects with each other. Okay.
So that's gonna be your homework. You're going to use a triangle. Emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. So you're going to think about one situation. It could be a different one where you don't feel comfortable with, and you may want to understand why you're feeling that way and how to change it.
Okay.
So for the next 2 weeks, I want you to focus on that. And how we're gonna do this also involved the journaling. I don't know if you ever heard about it.
No, what's journaling?
So journaling is writing your thoughts into a notebook, or even in your phone. You can text or write it down, and pretty much it's like a diary. So like, today I feel bad because of this. And then you start exploring that thought, like how we doing here.
Okay.
And we can, when you can bring that up to the next session, and then you're gonna figure it out why you're feeling that way and the behavior that you're gonna take after you discover that the thought that you have about it wasn't true, or interchange it for a positive one. Okay?
Yes.
So pretty much journaling is good because it kind of let you see like your thoughts in paper and be more organized about how you process your feelings
My emotions.
and your emotions, and that will help you to get other ways to adapt to other situations similar to that one. And
you see how my thoughts are
yes,
reflected. Okay.
exactly, reflect on those thoughts, and even in a month from now you're gonna see your growth, and that will inspire you and motivate you to be like, this is real and I have control over my feelings, because if I control my thoughts, I control how I feel.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I want you to do for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right, do you have any other questions?
No, everything was pretty clear, and I feel like it's a really good technique that is gonna help me out acknowledge and see where my thoughts are going and turn it into my behavior. So I would like to explore more on that and see how I keep growing as it goes.
Thank you. Thank you for being so open today.
Yes, ma'am.
And have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.